Have you ever wished you could change your life just by thinking differently? Well, you're in for a treat today. We're about to explore something that could turn your world upside down in the best way possible. It's not about fancy tricks or secret formulas. It's all about the incredible power of your own mind. We're diving into the teachings of Neville Goddard, a man who believed we all have the ability to shape our reality. Imagine being able to create the life you've always dreamed of just by changing the way you think. Sounds too good to be true, right? But what if I told you that countless people have used these ideas to transform their lives? That's the magic of Neville Goddard's teachings on manifestation. It's not about waving a magic wand or hoping for miracles. It's about understanding the connection between your thoughts and your reality. Think about it for a moment. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to attract good luck wherever they go? Or how others always seem to be stuck in a cycle of bad experiences? What if that's not just random chance, but the result of how they think and feel about themselves and the world around them? That's exactly what we're going to explore today. Now, you might be wondering, who was this Neville Goddard guy? Well, let me tell you a bit about him. Neville Goddard wasn't some high and mighty guru or a celebrity spiritual teacher. He was just a regular person, like you and me, who stumbled upon some pretty amazing insights about life. Born in 1905 in Barbados, Neville came to the United States as a young man to study theatre. But his life took an unexpected turn when he discovered the power of the human mind. He became fascinated with the idea that our thoughts and imagination could actually shape our reality. And he didn't just keep these ideas to himself. Neville spent decades teaching and writing about what he had learned. What made Neville's teachings special was how simple and practical they were. He didn't use fancy words or complicated theories. Instead, he talked about everyday experiences and how we could use our minds to change them. He believed that each of us has the power to create the life we want, simply by changing our thoughts and beliefs. Neville taught that the world we see around us is really just a reflection of what's going on inside our minds. He said that if we want to change our lives, we need to start by changing our thoughts and feelings. It's like we're all walking around with a magic wand, but most of us don't realize we have it. So, what exactly did Neville teach? Well, he had 4 main ideas that form the foundation of his teachings on manifestation. These 4 keys are like the secret ingredients in a recipe for creating the life you want. They're simple to understand, but powerful when you put them into practice. First, there's the idea that your imagination creates reality. Neville believed that what you imagine in your mind will eventually show up in your life. It's not about daydreaming or wishful thinking, but about using your imagination in a focused and deliberate way. The second key is about living from the end. This means acting and feeling as if you already have what you want. It's about believing so strongly in your desire that you feel it's already yours. Third, Neville talked about the importance of feeling. He said, it's not enough to just think about what you want. You need to feel the emotions you would feel if your desire was already real. And finally, there's the idea of revision. This is about changing your perception of past events to create a better future. It's like rewriting your personal history in your mind. These 4 teachings might sound simple, but they can be incredibly powerful when you understand and apply them. They're not about magical thinking or ignoring reality. Instead, they're about understanding the connection between your inner world and the outer world, and learning how to use that connection to create positive changes in your life. Now, you might be thinking, this all sounds interesting, but why should I care? How is this going to help me in my everyday life? Well, let me tell you why these teachings are so important. Have you ever felt stuck in life, like you're trying your hardest, but nothing seems to change. Maybe you've been working towards a goal for years, but it always feels just out of reach. Or perhaps you've found yourself repeating the same patterns in relationships or at work, wondering why you can't break free. If any of this sounds familiar, then Neville Goddard's teachings could be exactly what you need. You see, most of us go through life thinking that our circumstances control us. We believe that we're at the mercy of our jobs, our relationships, our bank accounts, or even just plain old luck. But what if I told you that it's actually the other way around? What if you could learn to shape your circumstances instead of letting them shape you? That's where Neville's teachings come in. They show us that we have more control over our lives than we think. By understanding and applying these 4 key ideas, you can start to see real changes in your life. It's not about wishful thinking or ignoring reality. It's about understanding how your mind works and using that knowledge to create positive changes. Think about it this way. Have you ever noticed how your mood can affect your day? When you wake up feeling grumpy, doesn't it seem like everything goes wrong? And on days when you're feeling great, don't things just seem to fall into place? That's a small example of how our inner state can affect our outer experiences. Now imagine if you could harness that power and use it deliberately to create the life you want. But here's the thing. If you don't understand these ideas, you might feel like you're always fighting an uphill battle. You might work hard and do all the right things, but still feel like you're not getting anywhere. It can be frustrating and discouraging. You might start to believe that you're just unlucky, or that good things only happen to other people. On the other hand, once you get these concepts, it's like someone handed you the user manual for your mind. Suddenly, you start to see why things have been happening the way they have in your life. More importantly, you begin to understand how you can change things. It's like finding out you've had a superpower all along, and now you're finally learning how to use it. Understanding Neville's teachings doesn't mean your problems will magically disappear overnight. Life will still have its ups and downs. But what changes is how you respond to those challenges. Instead of feeling helpless or stuck, you'll have tools to work with. You'll start to see opportunities where before you only saw obstacles. For example, let's say you've always dreamed of starting your own business, but you've been too afraid to take the leap. You might have thoughts like, I'm not smart enough, or I don't have enough money, or what if I fail? These thoughts can hold you back and keep you stuck in a job you don't love. But with Neville's teachings, you'd learn to use your imagination to see yourself as a successful business owner. You'd practice feeling the excitement and satisfaction of running your own company. You'd revise your past experiences of failure or doubt, seeing them instead as stepping stones to success. And you'd live each day as if your business was already thriving. Does this mean your business would instantly become successful? Of course not. But it would change how you approach the challenge. Instead of being paralyzed by fear, you'd be motivated by excitement. You'd start to notice opportunities you might have missed before. You'd have the courage to take risks and learn from setbacks. And bit by bit, you'd start to see your dream becoming a reality. This is just one example. But the same principles apply to all areas of life. Whether you want to improve your relationships, advance in your career, overcome a health challenge, or simply find more joy and peace in your daily life, Neville's teachings can help. But here's the most important part. These teachings aren't just theory. They're meant to be put into practice. Reading about them or understanding them intellectually is a good start, but the real magic happens when you begin to apply them in your life. It's like learning to play an instrument. You can read about music theory all day, but you won't become a musician until you pick up the instrument and start practicing. That's why we're going to dive deep into each of these 4 key teachings. We'll explore what they mean, how they work, and most importantly, how you can start using them in your everyday life. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of Neville Goddard's approach to manifestation, and you'll have practical tools you can start using right away to create positive changes in your life. So, are you ready to unlock the power of manifestation? Are you ready to discover how your imagination can shape your reality? Let's dive in and explore Neville Goddard's 4 key teachings. Trust me, by the time we're done, you'll never look at your thoughts and imagination the same way again. You're about to embark on a journey that could completely transform your life. So let's get started. Let's dive into Neville Goddard's first key teaching, the power of imagination. Now, when we talk about imagination, we're not just talking about daydreaming or fantasizing. We're talking about something much more powerful and real. Neville believed that your imagination is the creative force of the universe. He taught that what you imagine in your mind will eventually show up in your life. It sounds simple, but it's a pretty big idea when you really think about it. Here's how it works. Everything you see around you, your home, your job, your relationships, all of these things existed in someone's imagination before they became real. Someone had to imagine a house before it could be built. Someone had to imagine a business before it could be started. In the same way, Neville taught that the things you want in your life must first be created in your imagination. But it's not just about visualizing what you want, it's about really feeling it, experiencing it in your mind as if it's already real. Neville called this living in the end. It means imagining so vividly that it feels like you already have what you want. Let's say you want a new job. Instead of just thinking, I want a new job, you would imagine yourself already in that job. You'd imagine sitting at your new desk, talking with your new colleagues, doing the work you love. You'd imagine the feeling of satisfaction at the end of a good day's work. You'd imagine the pride you feel when you tell your family about your new position. The key is to make these imaginary scenes as real and vivid as possible. Use all your senses. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? The more real you can make it in your mind, the more power it has. Now you might be thinking, but isn't this just pretending? How can imagining something make it real? Well, here's the thing. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. When you imagine something clearly and consistently, your subconscious begins to accept it as real. And once that happens, it starts to work on making that imagined reality come true. It's like planting a seed. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't see anything happen right away. But under the surface, that seed is growing. It's the same with your imagination. When you plant an idea in your mind through vivid imagination, it starts to grow, even if you can't see the results right away. But remember, this isn't about passive wishing, it's about active, focused imagination. It's about creating such a clear and compelling vision in your mind that it begins to shape your thoughts, your actions, and ultimately, your reality. Now let's explore Neville Goddard's second key teaching, living from the end. This idea is closely related to using your imagination, but it takes things a step further. Living from the end means acting and feeling as if you already have what you want. Think about it this way. How would you feel if your biggest dream had already come true? How would you act? What would your day look like? Living from the end means embracing those feelings and actions now, even before your desire has manifested in the physical world. Let's say your dream is to become a successful author. Living from the end would mean feeling the satisfaction of holding your published book in your hands. It would mean acting with the confidence of a respected writer. It would mean structuring your day as a successful author would. But here's the important part. This isn't about pretending or fake it till you make it. It's about genuinely embodying the state of having achieved your desire. It's about aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the reality you want to create. Neville taught that when you live from the end, you're not trying to get something you don't have. Instead, you're expressing something you already are. This shift in perspective can be incredibly powerful. It moves you from a place of lack and wanting to a place of abundance and having. Living from the end also helps you overcome doubts and fears. When you fully embody the state of having achieved your desire, there's no room for worry about whether it will happen. You're not hoping for it to come true someday in the future. In your mind, it's already done. This doesn't mean you ignore your current reality or stop taking action towards your goals. Instead, it means you approach your current circumstances from a new perspective. You make decisions and take actions based on who you want to be, not who you think you are now. For example, if you're living from the end of being a successful author, you might start setting aside time each day to write, even if you're currently working a different job. You might join a writers' group or start attending literary events. You're not doing these things to become an author. In your mind, you already are one. You're doing them because that's what successful authors do. Living from the end can feel strange at first. It might even feel like you're lying to yourself. But remember, you're not denying your current reality. You're simply choosing to align yourself with your desired reality. It's about shifting your focus from what is to what could be. The third key teaching from Neville Goddard is all about the importance of feeling. This idea ties closely with the first two keys we've discussed, but it deserves special attention because it's so crucial to the manifestation process. Neville taught that it's not enough to just think about what you want or to visualize it in your mind. To truly manifest your desires, you need to feel the emotions you would feel if your desire was already real. He believed that feeling is the secret to creating change in your life. Why is feeling so important? Well, Neville explained that your feelings are like a bridge between your thoughts and your physical reality. You can think about something all day long, but if you don't feel it, it won't become real for you. Think about it this way. Have you ever noticed how strongly you remember events that had a big emotional impact on you? Whether it was a moment of great joy or deep sadness, those emotionally charged memories tend to stick with us. That's because our emotions make experiences feel more real and more significant to us. The same principle applies when we're trying to manifest something new in our lives. When we can generate genuine feelings associated with our desire, we make it more real to our subconscious mind. And remember, our subconscious mind is the part of us that really drives our behavior and attracts experiences into our lives. So how do you put this into practice? Let's say you want to manifest a loving relationship. It's not enough to just think, I want a loving partner. You need to really feel the love, joy, and companionship you would experience in that relationship. Imagine how it would feel to wake up next to someone who loves you deeply. Feel the warmth of their embrace, the happiness of sharing your day with them, the comfort of knowing you have a supportive partner by your side. The more vividly you can feel these emotions, the more power your manifestation will have. But here's where many people get stuck. They try to generate these positive feelings while still focusing on the fact that they don't have what they want. They end up feeling frustrated or disappointed instead. That's why it's so important to combine this key with the previous two. Use your imagination to create a vivid mental scene. Live from the end as if your desire is already fulfilled. And then let yourself feel the positive emotions associated with that fulfilled desire. It's also important to understand that this isn't about forcing yourself to feel happy all the time. Neville wasn't advocating for ignoring your true feelings or pretending to be happy when you're not. Instead, he was suggesting that we can choose to focus on and amplify the feelings that align with our desires. This might take some practice. At first, it might feel like you're just pretending, but the more you do it, the more natural it will become. You're essentially training your mind and emotions to align with your desires. One practical way to do this is to take a few minutes each day to sit quietly and imagine your desire as if it's already fulfilled. Really let yourself feel the joy, gratitude, excitement, or whatever positive emotions would come with that fulfillment. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes to generate those feelings at will. Remember, the goal isn't to ignore your current reality or to deny any challenging emotions you might be feeling. It's simply to spend more time focusing on and feeling the emotions that align with what you want to create in your life. Over time, you may find that these positive feelings begin to dominate your emotional landscape, making it easier for your desires to manifest. Now let's explore Neville Goddard's fourth key teaching, the power of revision. This concept might sound a bit strange at first, but it's incredibly powerful when you understand how to use it. Revision is about changing your perception of past events to create a better future. It's like being the editor of your own life story. Neville taught that we can go back into our memories and revise them, changing how we remember and feel about past events. Now you might be thinking, but we can't change the past. And you're right. We can't change what physically happened. But we can change how we interpret and feel about those events. And according to Neville, that change in perception can have a profound impact on our present and future. Here's how it works. At the end of each day, Neville suggested reviewing the events of your day. If anything happened that you didn't like, or that didn't align with your desires, you would imagine that event happening differently. You would revise it in your mind to unfold in a way that you would have preferred. For example, let's say you had an argument with a co-worker. Instead of replaying that argument in your mind and feeling upset about it, you would imagine the interaction going smoothly. You'd imagine yourself and your co-worker having a productive, friendly conversation instead. The key is to make this revised scene feel as real as possible. Use all your senses, just like we discussed with the power of imagination. See the smiles on your faces, hear the friendly tone of voice, feel the sense of mutual understanding and respect. But revision isn't just for recent events. You can also use it to change your perception of events from your past that still affect you. Maybe you have a memory of failing at something important, and that memory still makes you doubt yourself. You could revise that memory, imagining yourself succeeding instead. Now you might be wondering, how can imagining a different past change anything? Well, remember that according to Neville, your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's vividly imagined. When you revise an event, you're giving your subconscious mind a new memory to work with. This new memory can change how you feel about yourself and your abilities. It can shift your beliefs about what's possible for you, and those changes in your inner world can lead to real changes in your outer world. Revision is also a powerful tool for letting go of grudges and healing relationships. By revising negative interactions with others, you can release feelings of anger or hurt. This doesn't mean you ignore problems or let people treat you badly. It just means you're choosing to focus on and create more positive patterns in your relationships. Remember, the goal of revision isn't to deny reality or pretend bad things never happen. It's about taking control of your narrative and choosing to focus on what you want rather than what you don't want. It's about freeing yourself from the limiting effects of past events and opening yourself up to new possibilities. Now that we've explored Neville Goddard's 4 key teachings, let's talk about how they all work together. These teachings aren't separate techniques to be used in isolation. They're different aspects of a unified approach to creating your reality. Imagination is the foundation. It's your ability to create vivid mental scenes of what you desire. Living from the end is about fully embracing the state of having already achieved your desire. Feeling is what makes your imagined scenes real to your subconscious mind. And revision allows you to reshape your past to support your desired future. When you use all these teachings together, you create a powerful alignment between your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. This alignment is what allows you to manifest your desires more easily and consistently. Start by using your imagination to create a vivid scene of your desire fulfilled. Make it as detailed and real as possible. Then, step into that scene and live from the end. Feel how it feels to have your desire already realized. What would your day look like? How would you carry yourself? Really let yourself feel the positive emotions associated with your fulfilled desire. Feel the joy, the gratitude, the excitement. At the end of each day, use revision to align your experiences with your desire. If anything happened that doesn't fit with what you're trying to create, revise it in your mind. The key is to practice these techniques consistently. It's not about doing them once and expecting magic to happen. It's about reshaping your habitual thoughts and feelings over time. Start small. Choose one area of your life where you'd like to see a change. Maybe it's your job, a relationship, or a personal goal. Apply these teachings to that area consistently for a few weeks and see what happens. Remember, this isn't about ignoring your current reality or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing where to focus your attention and energy. It's about aligning your inner world with the reality you want to create. As you practice, you might find that opportunities start to appear that align with your desire. You might notice changes in how you feel and how you approach challenges. Pay attention to these shifts, no matter how small they seem at first. Now, I want to share a bit about my own experience with these teachings. When I first encountered Neville Goddard's ideas, I was skeptical. It all sounded too good to be true, but I decided to give it a try anyway. I started with something small. I wanted to improve my public speaking skills. I was always nervous about speaking in front of groups, and I wanted to change that. So I began to imagine myself as a confident, engaging speaker. I would close my eyes and vividly picture myself standing in front of an audience, speaking clearly and confidently. I imagined the audience listening attentively, nodding and smiling. I practiced living from the end by carrying myself with the confidence of someone who was already a great speaker. Even when I felt nervous, I would remind myself, I am a confident and engaging speaker. I focused on the feeling of confidence and ease that I associated with good public speaking. I let myself feel the satisfaction of delivering a great speech, even before I had done it in reality. And I used revision. After each speaking opportunity, instead of dwelling on what went wrong, I would revise it in my mind. I'd imagine it going perfectly, feeling the sense of accomplishment and hearing the applause. At first, it felt like I was just pretending. But as I kept practicing, something started to shift. I found myself feeling more confident in speaking situations. I started volunteering for speaking opportunities that I would have avoided before. And here's the amazing part. People started commenting on how much my speaking had improved. Opportunities to speak at larger events began to come my way. Was it magic? No. But by changing my inner world, my thoughts, feelings, and beliefs about myself as a speaker, I changed how I showed up in the outer world, and that led to real, tangible changes in my experiences. This is just one small example, but it showed me the power of these teachings. Since then, I've applied them to many areas of my life, always with fascinating results. As we wrap up our exploration of Neville Goddard's 4 key teachings, I want to encourage you to try these ideas for yourself. Don't just take my word for it or even Neville's. Experiment with these concepts in your own life and see what happens. Remember, manifestation isn't about magical thinking or ignoring reality. It's about understanding the connection between your inner world and your outer experiences. It's about learning to use the power of your mind to shape your reality in positive ways. Start small. Choose one area of your life where you'd like to see a change. Apply these teachings consistently for a few weeks and observe what happens. Pay attention to any shifts in your thoughts, feelings, or experiences, no matter how subtle they might be at first. Be patient with yourself as you learn and practice these techniques. Like any skill, using your imagination to create change takes practice. You might not see dramatic results overnight, but with consistent effort, you may be amazed at what you can achieve. And remember, the goal isn't to create a perfect life where nothing ever goes wrong. The goal is to empower yourself to respond to life's challenges in a more positive and productive way. It's about becoming the creator of your experience rather than feeling like a victim of circumstances. Neville Goddard's teachings offer a powerful perspective on how we can shape our lives through the power of our minds. By harnessing your imagination, living from the end, focusing on your feelings, and revising your experiences, you have the tools to create positive changes in your life. So why not give it a try? You have nothing to lose and potentially a whole new world to gain. Who knows? You might just unlock the key to manifesting the life you've always dreamed of. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Neville Goddard's teachings. I hope you found it as fascinating and potentially life-changing as I have. Remember, the power to shape your reality lies within you. It's time to start using it.